Oh, hi, my name is Bill Bayer, like the aspirin. I've been saying that my whole life, so I'm comfortable with it. I work here at the Hoboken shelter in various positions. I started here in the kitchen, which I found to be very rewarding on both sides. Our guests loved my cooking, and it's one way of expressing your care for people that walk through our doors. uh, the people really appreciate, particularly in the winter months, a nice hot meal. They love it, and we love serving them. We really do. It makes a big difference in someone's life when they're out all day in the elements, and to come into a room with people and share a hot meal is just rewarding all the way around for everyone. And one person asked me, she says, "Where'd you come from?" I said, "Well, from Bergen County." And she just stopped and she looked at me. She goes, "Thank you so much. You care enough to come down here." That just really blew me away. It really is terrific that people appreciate that you care and that they matter. That's so important to any human being on the planet, is to realize that their lives matter. There's mental illness, of course, is involved. There's family issues where people get isolated from their families, and then we're here, but over the years, people get isolated from their families because of some mental illness issues that they have. And they're not insurmountable issues, they're workable issues you can work on with people, or put them in the right direction, in terms of therapy and mental health professionals. But I find that that's a big chunk of the population that we work with, and there's folks that really need help just in doing very mundane things that you or I might consider mundane, like everyday stuff. You have to get a driver's license. Okay, how do I do that? I lost my ID. Well, okay, how do we get an ID back? Anything, from owning a car, which you or I might take, you don't even think about it, right? You get a car, you get insurance, you get your license, registration. For some folks, that's a huge, tall order that they really cannot fulfill for themselves. And that's where people need that sort of guidance and that sort of nudge in the right direction to get things moving in their lives. For example, there was one gentleman here who had some physical ailments. I mean, he's, walking, diabetic, and he had a host of issues. So we all kept an eye on him. And he ended up in the hospital for about 5 days. And, he came back to the shelter. And just the other day, working with Mary, who's a social worker with Garden State, she found a voucher for him, a Section 8 voucher, to get a roof over his head. And it was the first time Mary got it, a voucher, and she was so happy. But then I looked at the person we're talking about, and I said, "Congratulations, you're going to get a roof over your head. This is good stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." I could see see the wheels turning in his head, like he didn't know what the next step was, which is to find an apartment under Section 8 that you can afford in the area that you want. In this case, it was Union City. So he'll need a little bit more. And it goes back to that whole coping thing of just doing something you or I wouldn't think about. I have to find an apartment. No problem. For him, that's a huge, huge undertaking. So he'll need a bit of a nudge along the way, to get a roof over his head. Once they get a roof over their head, you can't even describe how exhilarating it is to see a person when they get a roof over their head. It just changes everything. Everything changes their physical stature, the shoulders are back, and their heads up, and they talk to you, making eye contact, and it's just amazing. And it's one of the most gratifying things you'll ever see in a lifetime, And people will reciprocate. We have one female guest who She worked hard. She stayed here at the shelter. She got her meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. We housed her overnight, and she worked on with the social workers, to get a roof over her head, and she did. She just recently got a roof over her head in an apartment in Jersey City. And the first thing she did was call us. And I answered the phone because that's part of my job now is, answering the nonstop phone calls. And she called, she goes, "Bill, hi, this is," I can't say her name, but, and the excitement in her voice, I just wanted to call and I just wanted to thank everyone. Wow. That's what it's about. And she came in today, just stopped by to pick up a piece of mail that she left behind. And it was just really nice to see her. And again, big smile on the face, huge smile on the face, and she asked about everyone here, meaning mostly the employees. She just made the rounds and said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And it was just really nice to see. Really, really nice to see. And she's going to do well. She's going to do really well.